Hey everybody, how's it going? Tooth here. I hope y'all are having a good one. Um, After finishing up the video sequence today and going ahead and get it published or put out on YouTube, it left me to thinking. Um, the other part I didn't cover in that video sequence is I ran into a buddy of mine that is still out in Skytook. Long story short, I used to live in Skytook, or in the vicinity of Skytook, and me, him, my dad, and brothers and stuff like that. We used to do a lot of coyote hunting and deer hunting and all sorts of stuff out there over 20 years ago. And after going to that range, this girl right here has, just because of the optic, not the gun, has shortcomings, a big one, to be honest with you. So this is the 1:8 SLX with the ACSS reticle in it, and the BDC only goes out to 600. We were shooting out to 1,000, and like I stated in the other video, we were shooting, and I was kind of have to basically hold 2 to 3 silhouettes high for the bullet to drop in at the 1,000 yard mark. And so when I bought this scope, I was just thinking about the area I'm living in right now and doing the hunting in right now, because I really never thought about being back up in the Skytook area, and I thought most of my friends would either be dead or gone or not out doing what I'm doing. Don't ask me why I'm thinking about it. Sometimes I think I'm just a weird dude with my age and I'm the only one that does this stuff. But it came up and ran into him. He's like, man, we ought to get out and go hunting again together. And I 100% told him, yeah, I am down to go do it. And then we kind of started looking at each other's rigs and stuff, and he was looking at this one, he was looking at the 14.7, and we kind of started talking about optics and stuff like that. And I told him what I was running into out at the range, and he's like, man, you might want to address that, because some of these places out here, you remember, we were taking long shots. He goes, heck, you were the first one to pull a 700-yard shot off, and you right off the bat said that was a fluke, but no one's been able to recreate it and everything else, because one, it was a cheap scope on that Remington 700, or not 700. It was a 7mm mag I was using, and it had a cheap non-BDC reticle in it, and it was just 100% fluke. I pulled up, did a huge guess, shot, and the coyote dropped. And now that BDC reticles have become pretty predominant and really available to hunters and civilians and everything else, these guys are running them. He was on, because he has an ARTM that's done in 6.5 Creedmoor, and he's running an MPVO. It was an ATACR 2 to 10, and he told me how much he paid for it, and I'm like, oh crap, that's way out of my price range. At least I think it is anyway. So anyway, thought I heard something. So sitting there having the conversation with him, if I go hunting with him up there where they are consistently pulling 700+ yard shots off on coyotes, because it's a game, really is a game up there. Oh, there it is, you see it, you shoot it, and the first one to shoot wins, and he who has the less dogs at the end of the day has to buy the beer for the night. I don't want to buy the beer at the end of the night, so I'm kind of selling myself short. So I come back, and like I said, I've been thinking about this today, and where I'm going with this is knowing what type of optic to buy and making sure the optic matches your weapon. Doesn't necessarily have to be an LPVO, an MPVO, or just a scope. I could kind of cover some of the shortcomings real quick on. We'll just cover, like I said, recover the shortcomings on this 1:8 LPVO. 600-yard BDC reticle. Okay, the round is capable of going way further, so there's a shortcoming. The other shortcoming, why I'm thinking of going with MPVO over an LPVO 1 to 10 with the nice reticle that will give me a BDC drop out to 1,000, is when this thing is turned all the way up to 8, the eye box gets really small. So it's usable. I can get on it. Can I do really quick acquisition? No. If I play with it some more, I can get pretty decently quick with it, and I have in the past and have done that. So with that being said, that is what led me to really kind of start playing with this one right here, which is, this is the Arrow M5 clone that me and my son put together. This is his gun. It has a Vortex Viper PST, 2.5 to 10 on it. I have used this gun out hunting in heavy woods and all of that stuff, where I was really happy with it, other than the turrets don't lock and they do not have a 0 return. And while taking a shot at a hog and at 50 yards with this thing, I had somehow rotated this turret, either got hung on a line, weeds or a vine, gear, whatever. Elevation got off. So that was kind of like a no-go for me. Another gun that I have used extremely a lot is this Remington 700 SPS with another primary arms, 4 to 16. Now, the downfall with this one is it only goes down to 4 magnification. There are some places I do hunt, and other than this gun just being heavy as hell and hard to lug around all day long, the 4 times magnification doesn't drop down far enough for me, especially in really, really thick woods. If I've got a target that is 50 yards away and it's in heavy brush, yeah, I can see it, but everything is blown out of proportion. And that's where the 2.5 would come into play. And that's where I've been using these LPVOs pretty hard and heavy. So there's kind of a couple of basic shortcomings on these 3 types of scopes: a 4 to 16, a 1 to 8, and a 2.5 to 10. 2.5 to 10, the only shortcoming is its design. Sorry, Vortex, you screwed that part up. But we are going to do a comparison of all these scopes, lay them out at the range, pull them all out, shoot some groups with them, see what we get out of them. They're all pretty comparable, except for the bolt gun. It just shoots stupid tight with the right ammo in it. And both AR-10s, they can produce 1/2 and 1 inch groups at 100 yards. And then, like we found out with the Monarch, really the ammo that's kind of messing up. So I'll go ahead and dump some money and get some decent money on the 5.56. So on the 1 to 6s, the 14.7, probably going to be in a disadvantage compared to the other 2 guns. No, the other gun with the Strike Eagle is going to be at the big disadvantage because that barrel sucks. It will not group shit. And but we'll sit here. We'll do an overall comparison in time. But mainly this was just to give you an idea of issues that I have run into hunting. Or like yesterday, I ran into out at the range. So, and then now that I'm looking at hooking up with my buddies and going back to Skytook and going hunting up there, to make sure you don't limit your gun with your optic to just your area. Let's find out what our guns can do. Let's make sure we put the appropriate optics on them. And let's make ourselves be the limitation instead of our equipment. So I hope this is some information that helps. If you have any questions, definitely hit me up. I will do my best to answer them. And we will go from there. Y'all have a good one. I'm out. It's starting to rain. I'm glad I mowed the yard today. It's time to start drinking since I'm on vacation. Later.